Hello and thanks for tuning in. I'm Holly Shields, welcoming you all to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks here on Kalkine TV. Today we'll be exploring Swoop, the ASX-listed fixed wireless infrastructure provider that's shaking up the telecom landscape. And joining us today is none other than CEO Alex West. Welcome to the show, Alex. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you on. First of all, we'd love to touch on the acquisition of Luminet and its dark fibre network that was completed earlier this year. How has this move helped Swoop expand its reach?
Sure. Look, as the owner and operator of one of Australia's largest fixed wireless networks, fibre pairs extremely well with our technologies. It gives us greater capacity and speeds to our existing towers and also allows us to reduce costs by not paying for that backhaul from other providers.
That's excellent to hear. It sounds like it's really been successful for you then, that move.
Yes, look, it's very much starting to pan out. We obviously, as a management team, have considerable experience in infrastructure, especially fibre infrastructure, having previously founded and worked and run other large fibre infrastructure players in Australia like Focus and Superloop and Pipe Networks, which then became TPG.
Well, that does make perfect sense there. And now you've also recently entered into a $32 million facilities agreement with Westpac. What does this mean rather for the company?
Sure. Look, it gives us considerable firepower to continue with further acquisitions. That facility, it is a $20 million facility for permitted acquisitions, but also an additional $10 million for permitted acquisitions and capital expenditure. So it'll allow us to continue to grow both organically and as well as keep our firepower for future acquisitions.
That's terrific, and it sounds like exactly what you need at the moment, considering I'm sure you have considerable demand for your services.
Yes, look, growth is going very well. We see strong organic growth, but also there are a number of other companies that we have our eyes on, and obviously keeping that diligent approach to ensure that we buy well, not overpaying, provides greater value for our shareholders, but also allows us to add additional services for our customers.
Absolutely, very well said there. Now, for the unacquainted, what is it that makes Swoop stand out from the crowd of other data and voice providers?
Look, we have a strong focus on our customers, and that's supported by our local contact centres. So we believe that's key to our success. We also we're an infrastructure player ourselves, so we believe that putting customers on our network first gives us the ability to control that customer experience and make sure that we're not relying on somebody else to deliver the services. We also have a very strong focus sort of in regional and outer metro areas of Australia. So whilst the NBN has done a great job of rolling broadband out to a number of capital cities and a lot of other areas, not everybody gets the speeds that they might need to continue to do what they want to do, work where they want in these regional areas. And so we're supporting those local communities by rolling out infrastructure and continuing to deliver higher speeds and reliable services there.
Right, I can imagine that is the case, that not every area gets that equal access. So it's great that you're bridging that gap.
Yes, and look, we believe that's a strong focus for us. Obviously, I also live regionally, so I understand how difficult it can be to run a company from outside of the capital city, and obviously with services that we provide, that makes it very much a reality. And considering how many people have since moved out of capital cities in the pandemic, this is a real challenge for those people, and we're obviously looking to support our customers there.
That's great to hear. Now, I'd love to know, how do you see the data services vertical evolving in Australia? Are those rural and more regional areas that you mentioned, do you think they're eventually going to see that equal access?
Look, we believe so. And obviously, look, the internet is key to everybody's life nowadays. People are looking to work from home more, and that home now can be outside of capital cities. So as I just mentioned earlier, there has been a significant increase in the number of people that have been moving out of capital cities into regional areas. And so that's where reliability and speed becomes paramount. So this reliability can often be gained by pairing your service or bundling products together to make sure that it never goes down. And this could be an example of a sort of a business grade NBN service coming in from the street, with supported by a fixed wireless service for a company like Swoop, just to make sure your network never goes down and that you can continue to run your business wherever that may be, or work from home.
Right, that's very important there, I think, especially considering how many people are in fact working from home lately. So we are seeing a bit of a demographic shift there when it comes to where the services are needed.
Yes, and we see it as well. We saw a significant uptick in home broadband services at the start of the pandemic. We as a company ourselves, majority of our staff are still working from home, with growing up during a pandemic from sort of 32 people back in March 2020 to now over 170. The majority of people have come on board either through acquisition or organically, nationally, to where we didn't necessarily have offices. So we're continuing to support and grow with the majority of our staff still working from home.
Right, that is great to see, but it sounds like you're really ahead of the curve there and riding that wave to meet those challenges. So overall, great stuff. Now, I'd love to know where you see the company in the mid to longer term.
Sure. Look, we see significant growth in our company. Obviously, we've been growing very fast from a small regional-based carrier, listing last year in May and raising 20 million at the time, and then a further 40 million. We see us growing to become one of Australia's next large telcos, so $1 billion telco. And the path there is relatively simple. It's supplying good quality services to our customers with a customer focus on our own infrastructure, reliably, and supporting them locally. And this, whilst then also focusing on integrating our existing acquisitions and keeping an eye out to ensure that we bring on other great companies that we have done in the past and great people as well.
Absolutely, that is really important and crucial, I think, there. But we will keep an eye out for all your developments in the upcoming year. It sounds like you have a large remainder of the year ahead of you with lots of things on the horizon, so very exciting stuff overall. But with that said, thanks very much for making time for us today, Alex. It's been really great to have you on the show.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure to have you on. Thanks for your time as well, viewers. If you've just joined us, that was Alex West, the CEO of Swoop. And if you missed any part of the chat, you can catch the full interview on our YouTube channel at Kalkine Media. I'm Holly Shields for Kalkine TV.